What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, I'm about to sit up here and watch the Tyson Fury fight against Pianetta. And some news came out. Of course, people should be familiar with the fact that Billy Joe Saunders got into it with Deontay Wilder at a restaurant. And now more information has come out about exactly what it was. And I think it's funny, man, because it says it harkens back to some stuff that had happened back in March where Billy Joe Saunders said some kind of funky things about Deontay Wilder, called him a racist CUNT because of what Deontay Wilder, I believe it was because of what Deontay Wilder said about Eddie Hearn. So, this is a little bit of a, he said, she said type of conversation, man. But it does point out something that is, that's funny to me, man, is, but before I get into that, I want to thank you for listening to the channel. And if you're subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we release the more videos, and also when we do the live streams. And thank you to everybody that donates to the channel. So look, man, Billy Joe Saunders is about to get the brakes beaten off of him for saying something real stupid, man. And he had said it some months backwards when he snapped off and called Deontay Wilder, a racist CUNT, right? Female body part. And so what happens then is when Billy Joe Saunders comes up to sees Deontay Wilder in Ireland, and Deontay Wilder didn't forget what he said. Right. So when Deontay Wilder jumps up and looks at him like, hey, man, it ain't all love over here, man, because I remember what you said, that type of thing, man. So Billy Joe Saunders gets kind of nervous. Right. His thing is he said that Deontay Wilder was trying to be a bully. But what Deontay Wilder was really trying to do was trying to check that dude for having said what he said. And that's one of the things I say about Deontay Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder that's a real dude, man. That is a guy that, and from what I can see, he says what he means and he means what he says. And what he said and Billy Joe Saunders was out of place for what he said. Because what Deontay Wilder said about Eddie Hearn, we can all talk about who is, racist. I don't always want to use the word because, we got these algorithms and things on platforms, and I want to respect the platform. But what Deontay Wilder said about Eddie Hearn, I think was true. And I think the more that you heard about what was going on with Deontay, with Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn, the more true what Deontay Wilder says seems to be. That he is just another dude who's milking a guy like Anthony Joshua, right? If you can go back and do your research, your own research on what it was exactly Deontay Wilder said, but what Deontay Wilder said was the truth. And the fact that Billy Joe Saunders would use that word to describe an action of Deontay Wilder, I mean, seriously, it's out of hand, and the dude deserved to get the taste slapped out of his mouth for saying it. But the funny thing is, that just kind of shows you what Billy Joe Saunders is about, because Billy Joe Saunders would never say that to Deontay Wilder's face. And you see what happened when Deontay Wilder stood up and checked him. The dude ran. And now they got a picture they took a picture together with one another because they're like, look, man, we don't need any of this nonsense happening, because it seems as if the Deontay Wilder, I think it's Deontay Wilder's brother was there as well, and somebody else was associated with him, would be more than happy to, to thump up Billy Joe Saunders a good bit, man. So, I was wondering what was happening, because it didn't make sense to me that Billy Joe Saunders would just go out of his way to go search out Deontay Wilder, find, some piece of chicken and throw it at him like he was trying to insult Deontay Wilder. But as it turns out, it is Deontay Wilder checking him and being real serious about what he was saying. Like, look, man, it's not, you can't just say anything about anybody and think that stuff just goes away. And to call Deontay Wilder a dude from Alabama who, I mean, sometimes to me, and this is, people are familiar with the channel will know, man, that I really do believe in what Neely Fuller Jr. talks about about ever calling somebody that word, racist. I never do it because I never know. I can suspect, like I wouldn't call Eddie Hearn one because I don't know if Eddie Hearn if he is or if he isn't. There's no real way for me to prove that. I can have a belief and I can suspect what he is, and I can suspect the motivations in his, I can suspect his motivations and his reasons for doing the things that he does, but I don't know unless he says it outwardly. All I can do is suspect. Now, with a guy like Eddie Hearn and the way that he's managed Anthony Joshua, having Anthony Joshua turn down $50 million guaranteed for one bout with an upside of 50% and then $30 million in the next one. And the fact that he says that he has the right to sign the contracts for Anthony Joshua, I don't see. It's obvious that Eddie Hearn is somebody that's milking Deontay Wilder. Obvious. Now, what the reasoning for that is, I don't know, man. For the reason, whether it's because would he be willing to do that to any boxer, right? Would he be willing to rip off to milk and rip off Tyson Fury, or Vladimir Klitschko, or Jerry Coon if he was still fighting? I have no doubt in my mind that a guy like that would be more than willing to do that. But being somebody that was in Deontay Wilder's position, coming from where Deontay Wilder's coming from, which is planet Earth, but most specifically on planet Earth, Alabama, where that type of feeling and that type of sentiment was, it is commonplace. It's safe to assume now that it's commonplace, but prior to 1970. It was definitely commonplace because it was very much vocal it was coming out of the mouths of people when you walk down the street where he's from. So, at first when I heard about this deal about, the chicken being thrown, I'm like, they might have gotten some, talk or, some back talk, some talk back and forth or whatever. And then Billy Joe Saunders threw something at him. He runs out of the, ha ha ha. It's great for, for promotion. But now that I'm reminded about what it was specifically that Billy Joe Saunders had said about Deontay Wilder, I don't think that was for show. I think that Deontay Wilder would have been more than happy to slap Billy Joe Saunders in the mouth. And Billy Joe Saunders wouldn't have been throwing one back. It was funny because he's quoted in having an interview after this particular incident saying, look, I threw a chicken at him, but I wasn't really willing to, I was ready to throw a punch, but if I had thrown a punch, I'd have been gone. As in, man, he didn't want to get hurt by this dude. But see, here's the thing, man. If you don't, you should keep your mouth shut with all of that. And what Billy Joe Saunders said about Deontay Wilder, calling him that and calling him come on, man. I remember when you said that that's not all fun and games. So originally when I heard it, I thought it was fun and games or whatever. But now that I hear the reasoning behind it, now that's Deontay Wilder, who had at the first opportunity of seeing this dude, told him what he really thought about him. And Billy Joe Saunders probably got scared. But the safe bet would have been for Billy Joe Saunders, if you can't, when he said that, he didn't have any way that he would have known that he would wind up being in the room with Deontay Wilder. He didn't know back in March, what is that, 5 months ago? He didn't know 5 months ago that Tyson Fury would be coming to Belfast, that Deontay Wilder would be coming to Belfast, coming to see a fight with Tyson Fury, that he'd be in a situation where he might be in the same room with him. And when he was in the room with him, he bitched out pretty much, man, threw a chicken and ran, dog. So, at the end of it, man, it's going to be what it is. I guess they had a meeting right before this fight was supposed to start, or when they walked in, and they shook hands and, it was all water under the bridge. because I'm quite sure the handlers of both of them was like, first of all, Billy, have you lost your mind, man? We about to make a lot of money off this fight. Control yourself, man. He's out there. Billy Joe Saunders out there doing an Angel Garcia, saying whatever kind of stupid crap he wants coming to his mouth, man. And then on top of that, Billy Joe Saunders gonna screw around and get hurt and miss his fight. So, it is what it is, man. It was entertaining, but it's good to know, what the outcome of it is. And, now I'm just talking boxing, man. I know it's a little bit of a gossipy conversation, man, but Billy Joe Saunders needed to consider himself having gotten off lucky because, man, that dude could have got hurt last night. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.